Oh, tank.
Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to today's live stream. My name is Meg Austin. I am one of the academic advisors here at CSUMB. I advise for biology, marine science, environmental science, and environmental studies majors. Welcome to our 6th live stream in our live stream series. Today we have a couple of our awesome academic advisors here to answer your questions. I'm going to let them go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our live stream. I am Jessica Herrera, Academic Advisor for Computer Science, Communication Design, Math, and Undeclared Students.
You should take on a few more.
I should probably do that, yeah.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chrissy Lofgren, and I advise for psychology, and I advise for Undeclared in my spare time.
Thank you both. Yes. Lovely intros. Today we are going to be answering your questions. So we want your questions to drive today's live stream, and we want to hear from you. And so we can help answer any questions or concerns you may be having as you are getting ready to start here in the fall. These majors or these live streams are not meant to be major specific. So we're going to be answering questions for everyone today, hopefully. And there is a chats box on the right-hand side of your YouTube video. If you cannot submit chats or submit questions through that chat box, then you just have to go ahead and create your own YouTube channel, which is a lot easier than it sounds. All you do is click on the icon in the top right-hand corner of the YouTube page, and then there is a link that says Create Channel. And that is it. So we want you to interact with us, so go ahead and please make sure you do that so you can submit your questions. All right. While we wait for, also a lot of the things we talk about today are linked below in the description underneath the YouTube video. So there's links to our website, our advising website. There's links to the class schedule. There's links to the catalog. So go ahead and be sure to check those out. And also your advisor has been emailing you too with information that you should be looking at as well. While we wait for questions to come in, we don't have any yet, I'm going to hand it back over to our advisors to talk about some information regarding what general education is.
Oh, that's us.
That's us.
We're on. What is general education?
All right. Thanks, Meg.
Thanks, Meg.
A couple of things before we share our screen. I know a lot of you have been getting our emails about classes to take and how to register for courses, and all kinds of different information is getting thrown at you. So I just wanted to start by saying I know it's a lot of information, but if you just kind of take your time, go through all the emails, read the whole thing total, and just make sure that you try to get as much as you can out of the emails, because all the information you need is there, and just take your time with it. If you have questions after you read the emails, always reach out to your advisor, because that's what we're here for.
What if I don't want to read?
If you don't want to read, then you're going to have a hard time.
Do you have books on tape?
We don't have books on tape, but we do have webinars.
Oh, so we can replay any of these live streams at any time?
That's right. They're all on our YouTube channel on our website, so you can always tune in to any of the webinars that we've had so far to get all the information that you need. But the emails are really helpful, and we are happy to answer questions. Just make sure you try to take your time to read all of them before you ask your questions.
That's a lot of info, but let's give them more info.
Let's do it. Okay, so I'm on the main CSUMB.edu website. This is your go-to website for everything that you need in regards to CSUMB. We wanted to go over general education requirements because you've probably been hearing that a lot on our webinars and also in the emails that we're sending out for freshmen mostly. We wanted to kind of just walk you through what general education is. So when you are reading our emails, you know what to look for. So the best, easiest way to find all the general education information is in our catalog. So we're going to scroll down to the bottom, click the catalog link, and the most current catalog is going to be up. We've mentioned this before, but every year we get a new catalog, so you want to make sure you're always in your catalog. If you are starting this year, the most current catalog, of course, will be up. After the year is over, your catalog will go into the catalog archive, and you'll see all the different catalogs that we have listed there. So just kind of keep that in mind. We're going to go to academic programs, undergraduate programs, and you'll see all of the majors are listed, all of the minors are listed. So if you have questions about your specific major or minors, you can always find the information there. But we're going to focus on general education.
GE.
So general education overview, every CSU, every UC has a set of general education that they ask that their students complete in order to meet all of the requirements for graduation. So you have your major requirements, which are specific to your major that you choose. General education is something a little different. Sometimes the classes will overlap, so you might be taking a class in your major that also counts as a general education area, but for the most part, it's something outside of your major. It's a chance for you to get some experience in other departments. We are a liberal studies kind of school, a liberal arts school, so we want you to get a wide variety of information from all kinds of different disciplines. So
well-rounded.
Yes, so well-rounded.
So another thing to keep in mind about general education is that some of you, speaking to the freshmen right now, you may already have some credit in GE areas. Let's say, for instance, because I happen to be an expert in this area, let's say you took AP Psych and you passed it with a 3 or higher. You've already met 3 requirements if you're a psych major. You've met our intro to psychology requirement. You've met D1, and you've also met D3. So it's a really good idea to check in with your academic advisor if you have some AP credit, because you could have potentially some areas of GE already fulfilled, like language will come in as a GE area, C2, sciences. So make sure you check with your advisor if you have some AP scores.
Yeah, and while we're on that topic, let's go ahead and show you how to find that. So if you're on the CSUMB main site, if you type in credit by exam, you will see how to earn credit by exam. I think you can actually get to this from the catalog, but really you want to look at the different, so some of you might have taken like a CLEP exam if you're a transfer student, or AP is what we were kind of talking about, so let's click on that. It's just a PDF that you can open up and you'll see, so all the AP classes are listed on the left. The minimum passing score is listed right next to it, how many units you're going to get for the GE breadth areas, and then what area it actually covers. So we get a lot of questions about, let's see, what is one of the ones that's really popular? Well, our language requirements. So we do have a language here on campus that you have to meet and get to an intermediate level of a language other than English. A lot of students have taken AP Spanish. There's 2 different AP tests. You want to get a 3 to get credit for C2. To meet our language requirement, you have to get a 4 or a 5. So there's some things that are a little different, but you will get credit for C2, which is one of the other AP general education areas that we have. So you can always take a look here. If this is a little confusing, just make sure you check in with your advisor about that.
One of the other ones too I get a lot is the AP Art Studio. It does not count for art credit. The only one that's going to count for your C1 art is, I believe, going to be your art history, which I think is up at the top. I think that's the only one that comes in as, for C1. So the studios, you will get college credit for it, but you just won't get, you won't fulfill the GE in that area.
Yeah, so you can find this on our website, but you can also ask your advisor about that. If you're waiting for AP scores, you can do a couple of different things. You can kind of avoid those AP general education areas and just wait to take them if you need them later. Or you can register for the classes, and then if it comes through your score and you passed it with whatever score you need to pass, then you can always drop it and change it later. Your schedule that you set up at registration is not set in stone. You have the whole summer to change it if you need to, and also the first 2 weeks of the semester.
Something else that we haven't mentioned is sometimes we've been getting some freshmen, quote unquote, that apply as freshmen, but they're actually not freshmen because they've done the college along with high school. And so you've applied here as a freshman because you're just coming from high school, but you're actually coming in with 50 or more units. So you're actually going to be a junior status. If this is you, because we don't know who you are until you get here, you're getting all of our welcome to college freshman emails. Make sure you reach out to your advisor and let them know that you've done the college courses along with your high school courses and that you're coming in as a junior, because then we need to send you a whole different set of emails. So again, if that's you, please contact your advisor ASAP.
Perfect. Okay, so general education. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different areas that you have to cover while you're here at CSUMB, or if you're at a community college, you should have covered. Area A is English, language, and writing, communication. B area is science and math. C is arts and humanities, D social science, and E area is lifelong learning and self-development.
How do I find these classes, Jessica? This is so confusing.
So if you click on the area, it'll break it down into the specific areas because each area has a breakdown of different categories we want you to meet. And if you click on that, you'll see a bunch of different classes on our campus that will meet those requirements. So there's the outcomes there, there's the classes that we offer. If you're looking for these classes specifically for like the fall semester, another great place to look is our class schedule. So we're gonna open up another link to the class schedule, and voila, all the university requirements are right here on the right-hand side. So we talked about A1. That's one of the classes that our freshmen take first semester typically. And you'll see all the different classes that meet that requirement and when they're offered.
Excellent. And keep in mind too, if you are using the web schedule to search for classes, it's about an hour behind. So if you're searching for classes in Oasis and you have classes in your shopping cart and you see a little blue box and it says it's closed, but you're like, hey, wait, on the schedule, it's green and it says it's open. It's about an hour behind. So if you're searching for classes, you definitely want to search through Oasis Center through course search because this will always be behind.
While you're registering.
Yeah, while you're registering.
While you're prepping, it's totally okay to use the class schedule. It's a little easier to read.
And for the most part, it doesn't matter which A1 you take. Some majors are a little bit more specific, but for the most part, you're free to take pretty much any A1 unless otherwise specified by your advisor.
Yeah, they would have let you know by now if you need to take a specific one.
Now B is a little bit more specific. This is definitely more specific because it's the sciences and math. Almost every major has a different math requirement. And some majors, including the sciences, of course, are very specific with the science courses that you take. There are some majors that you're free to take whatever you want. HCOM is one of those majors. You can take whatever you want for sciences. You can take whatever you want for math. But just make sure that you are paying attention to your catalog and or the emails from your advisor.
Yeah, one thing I was going to mention is if you're kind of wondering, does my major have specific B1 classes they want me to take? You can always look on the course pathways. Usually those are pretty up to date. So let's go with computer science.
That's kind of biased of you.
It's a little biased, but
wow.
I like computer science. So we're going to do it.
And once you're done with the course pathways, we do have a few questions that maybe we can start answering.
Cool. So click on your major course pathway. We're going to go to freshman because that's where most of the GEs. And you'll see they'll have requirements for the GEs are here, D1. So there's an FYS class that all computer science students are recommended to take, and it covers your D1. They have an A1 that's recommended, but you don't always have to necessarily take that one. So they'll give you recommendations in here. If it's something that's specific you have to take for your major, then we'll definitely let you know that as well. But they will have recommendations for classes you can take.
Well, Meg's being kind of bossy, so I guess we can answer some questions.
Yeah, let's go ahead and answer some questions.
Wow.
I'm trying to keep it together, but you have very good information, both of you, and it's very helpful, I think. First question, actually from a transfer student.
Okay.
Karina, I am a transfer student, but my major is liberal arts, probably liberal studies, but I want to change my major before school starts. What can I do?
What did you want to change your major to? So it basically just depends on what you want to change your major to, and then you'll contact that advisor. And depending on the major, there are some impacted majors that you'll have to speak with the advisor because they might not be able to change your major until you've met all of the prereqs. But definitely you can go onto our advising website and you can find out who your advisor is, or if you want to chat back right now, we can yell out who your advisor is and give them their 5 seconds of fame.
And at orientation, Karina, if you're coming to orientation, then go to the major session of the major you are interested in changing to. So if you're going to change from liberal studies to something else, then I would suggest that you go to the major session at orientation. That is the major that you want to change to. And you can let your orientation leader at orientation know which major that is.
And reach out to the advisor now so that way you can get the information before orientation.
Right. Both things, yes. Okay, Alex wants to know.
Who?
Alex.
Okay.
Can I waitlist a class even if it says it's full?
Great question, Alex. So
great question, Alex.
Some of our classes are set up in Oasis to have an official waitlist. So usually if those classes do have a waitlist, it'll give you an option to add. There'll be a yellow square, yellow triangle.
Know your shapes.
Know your shapes, a yellow triangle that will be on the schedule. So you can see if there's a waitlist. If it's closed, so if it has the blue square that Chrissy was mentioning earlier, then that means the class is closed and there's no official wait list. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can try to reach out to the professor. Most of them are on break, so they might not answer you until school starts, so that's not the best option over the summer. You can talk to the advisor of the category that the class is in. So if it's like a business class, you can ask the business major advisors to see if there's like a wait list they might have. But usually the best bet, if the class is closed, keep an eye on the schedule. Sometimes people change around their classes and they end up dropping it. So you can always try to add during the summer, or you can try to crash during the first week. Some students will maybe not show up, or they end up changing their schedules again during the first week of school. So you can try to crash it. If there's space in the class, then the professor will let you add that way. But there's sometimes not an official wait list for a class. It'll let you know in Oasis if there is. Great question.
Lovely
answer.
Thank you.
Yes, excellent answer. Very thorough. Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Some students don't come back too because they create these YouTube channels and they become sensations.
Yes.
And then they don't come here.
Not fame other way.
It can happen.
Well, we're making our own sensation today. So Karen would like to know, do I have to take language?
Are you a freshman?
That is a good question.
So let's say, like, let's answer both. So if you're a freshman, you have to take language, and if you're a transfer.
Gosh, you're bossy again, May.
All right. So, okay, if you are a freshman starting here, your first year, you will need to complete our language requirement. How you go about completing that requirement is different for every student. So if you've taken AP and you got a 4 or 5, then you may be done.
Yes.
If you speak a other language natively, you might be able to take either a Spanish 212 class and finish it, or you might be able to take WLC 212, which is offered in the spring, and you may be able to clear it that way. If you've taken Spanish in high school, maybe a couple of years, you feel like you have the basics down, you might be able to test into a higher level. So this doesn't mean you get credit for a bunch of different semesters of Spanish, but you might be able to like skip over maybe 1 or 2 semesters, take 1 semester, and then you're done. There's a lot of different ways that you can finish the language requirement, but you do have to complete it in some way. For transfer students?
For transfer students, if you're a high unit major, so that's the business, liberal studies, computer science, bio, you may, marine science, math. Okay, I'm getting there. And if you are GE complete 60 units, you're done with language. You don't have to do language. If you are psychology, if you are HCOM, if you are not a high unit major, and you will know because your advisor has already said, hey, you need to take language, you need to complete up to the 201 or intermediate level of language. Again, it doesn't matter how you get there. We have a lot of students that come in and jump straight into ASL 201 or Spanish 201 or Spanish 212, and they're done in 1 semester. The other thing you can do is you can take language at a community college. So we have a lot of students that want to take French, and we don't offer French here. We've had French, German, and you can take those at your local community college. Just check with your advisor to make sure they transfer over. And as long as you get to the 3rd level or intermediate level, you're good.
Also, if you're an adventurous student and you are thinking about studying abroad, sometimes there's options for you to complete your entire language requirement with 1 semester or 1 summer abroad. So there's a lot of different ways that you can meet the requirement. If you have any questions, if you feel like you're not sure where you stand as far as that requirement goes, please reach out to your advisor.
And if you're not sure where you would place in Espanol, we do have an online assessment that you can get to. Should we show them how to get to that?
Sure.
If you're a psych major or undeclared, you already know. But if you go, I know I went there. If you just go to any homepage, and we're going to test Jessica's typing skills right now. Actually, yeah, we could have gotten it from the catalog too. But yeah, just type in language placement. It'll take you to the School of World Languages and Cultures. And if you click on the students button, language proficiency, this is a different way to get there.
Yeah.
We're learning new things every day.
It's in the catalog, right?
Yeah, it's in the catalog.
Let's go there. Catalog.
See, even the experts are
under university.
under language requirements.
Language proficiency.
We had a lot of donuts this morning. We're kind of amped up on sugar, so please pardon us.
Placement.
Yeah, so if you click on placement, it'll tell you it'll give you some information, but we have this little online quiz. It's for nobody but you, so it's not like a real quiz. Click on there. The password is written to the right. It's otters1, and when you click on it, it asks you to sign in. It's going to ask you some information, but again, it's really only for you, so don't cheat. Don't ask your abuela all the questions that you don't know, because we want it to be a good score for you. And it'll either say 100 level, 200 level, 300 level of Spanish. We don't do Chinese, French, German, and Russian yet. I shouldn't say yet, but Spanish is the one that we can test you on.
Yeah. And
then you hit begin. And again, at the end of it, you can even take a screenshot if you want to send it to your advisor, and then we can help you with it. But 100 level means you should take Spanish 101. 200 level would be Spanish 102. 300 level would be Spanish 201, and if you get a 4 or 5, you should teach the class. Okay, well, they might not let you do that, but you could take Spanish 212.
Yes. Lovely.
Lovely. More sugar. More sugar.
Well, I got more questions for you.
Woo!
That'll work.
Bring it.
Jennifer is wondering, how do I know if my AP scores have been received by CSUMB?
Excellent question.
So one way to check is through your transfer credit report in Oasis. If you click on there, you should be able to see if the AP scores are in the system. It'll be at the bottom of that page. A lot of AP scores are not yet in if you have taken them your last semester in high school. So we won't obviously have those scores just yet. So if you don't see them on there, you can check in with your admissions counselor to see if maybe they just haven't posted them yet, or you can check in with your academic advisor. We can kind of check for you as well. Also make sure if you haven't done so to send them through College Board, because sometimes you have to officially send them to us, especially if you're a transfer student and you had AP scores back when you were in high school. They don't transfer automatically over from your community college, so just make sure that you send them in again through College Board to CSUMB directly.
You're so good. It's like you were taught by the best.
You know, I might have it.
Yeah.
All right. So next question, are there any jobs on campus for freshmen?
Yes. We have something, well, I say that so confidently. There may be. So we have something called Otter Jobs, and you should be receiving an email in your CSUMB email account, which now is a really good time to plug. Yeah. You should be using your CSUMB email account. It is the official form of communication on campus. We will only answer to the, sexy hunky monkey 24 for so long, and then we're like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. We can't. We need to start answering and responding to you from your CSUMB official email. So yes, Otter Jobs, the Career Center should be sending out passwords and links on how to look onto the Otter Jobs, but I'll have a list of a lot of on-campus jobs and jobs that are right here in our community, which there's a lot of newer businesses that are always hiring. Blaze Pizza, Chipotle, all good ones. Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, possible.
Otter Jobs. Okay. How long do we have to pay for our classes after we register? Is it still August 1st?
It is August 1st because I wrote that down this morning.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind, if you do have financial aid, they don't always disperse your financial aid by that point, so they'll put like a hold, and I put it in quotes because it'll say it'll be in your holds box in Oasis, but it doesn't prevent you from adding classes or anything like that. It's just stating that you have financial aid coming, so they don't drop you from your classes. So if you have financial aid, you should see, like, I forget what it says.
Pay extension.
Extension.
Yeah. So you'll have that in there so you don't get dropped from your classes.
Boom.
Mic drop. Boom.
Okay, Karen says thanks.
You're welcome,
for
Karen.
information. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing this right. Maith is wondering, I added some classes to my shopping cart, but some have said that I haven't met the prereq. I added the prereq to my shopping cart as well, but the class still has a red X instead of a green check.
All right. So if you are a transfer student and you have taken that prereq already at your community college, either your transcripts might not be in our system yet, so our Oasis isn't recognizing that you've completed that, or we might not have a direct transfer agreement with your school. So even though it's like an equivalent, it's the same class, it might not be in our system that way. So you might need a substitution from your advisor. Either way, you don't have to take the prerequisite again here. You just need a permission code, which you can get from your advisor or from the department. We have a list of where you get those permission codes actually on our website, and we'll show you that in a second. But you just need a permission code to override it for now. If you haven't taken the prereq, then you need to take it first before you take that other class. There might be some exceptions to that, but just check in with your advisor. You definitely want to usually have the prereqs done before you take the course.
Yeah, it happens a lot for my psych majors, just because the system won't recognize research methods. And so, yeah, you'll need permission codes.
Yeah,
so we're going to let us know.
Yeah, we're going to show you where to find the permission code. It is on our
advising. Probably good.
I was in June.
Right? We might get a YouTube channel after this, and we might not be here in fall.
So under guides and tools, we have permission codes. What are permission codes? So if you're kind of wondering what I'm talking about, there's a little brief description for you there. There's a video on how to use your permission codes once you get them, and how to get permission codes. So you'll see all of the subjects are listed, and the people that you will reach out to get those codes are listed there as well.
Jesse Herrera.
I have a lot of
wow,
codes.
Anna Vega.
Oh, I'm not on math. I can give out math codes too. Just so you know. Well, for my majors, I should make that specific. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Very helpful.
Yeah. So you can see who to contact there. If you need
and please,
codes.
when you contact them, please
yes.
use your CSUMB email account, and please put in there in the subject add code or permission code. Please let them know the course. Hi, can I please get a permission code for HCOM 312? And give them the section number, because everything goes by section number. So if you needed a permission code for HCOM 201, which you won't, but you'd want to do that first number right there, section 1, section 2, not the 5-digit number.
Not the 5-digit number, because we don't really know what that is until we look at the schedule. Yeah. So it'll save us a lot of time, and it'll get you your code faster if you say the name of the class and the section number. So section 1, section 2, section 95, whatever it is, make sure you include that.
Thank you.
Great.
Give us another hard question, Meg.
No, I was going to ask you if you have another mic that you can drop.
Oh, I have all kinds of mics that I can drop. I have
we just need a box of them.
Fidget spinner, just in case Chrissy, to keep me calm. We have the chicken. Oh, any Bachelorette fans out there? We have our bracket going, so be sure to get in on this. Who's Becca going to pick?
These are very important questions to answer.
These are important for your education.
Yeah. We do have a few more coming in.
Oh.
Surprisingly not related to the Bachelorette, but
we know in case
I'll come later.
For the authority.
Alex is asking, how do I know what day and time I register for classes?
Alex, that is a phenomenal question.
Oh, Alex.
Thank you for asking that. So there's a couple different ways you can know. If you're attending orientation, then you know that your registration dates will be June 13th if you were a transfer student, June 20th if you're a freshman. If you are not attending orientation, then it's going to be June 22nd. This is also listed in your OASIS under enrollment date. Every semester, you're going to get a new enrollment date and time. So that is a place to look. It'll give you the specific time that you can actually log in and register for your classes. So you can't register anytime before that time that is listed there. I think everybody is on the same time for...
I've noticed some tampered times. There are different times this year. So I've noticed, I think it's going by units.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure, because I had a transfer student that had some previous college courses from a university, and I noticed they had a higher time. If you're California Promise, I believe you have a priority earlier time in the morning. So it is a little bit different.
Yeah, so check your OASIS under enrollment date on the right-hand side, and it'll be listed right there for you.
Lovely.
Lovely.
And this question came in from Jennifer, I think, as you were actually talking about it, and I think you answered it already. So Jennifer was wondering, how do I use a permission number once I get one? So there's a video on that page that Jessica just showed about how you can input permission numbers once you've got one from your advisor. And yeah, Anna and I are accepting permission number requests right now. I think a lot of advisors are. So we want to get you those codes before you register. So please validate that shopping cart and ask for those codes if you need them.
Yes.
Okay. Next question. Do I have to meet with my advisor before choosing classes?
Nope.
Absolutely not. So our goal is to have you pick your classes before you ever see us. We want you to get all the information out of the emails that we sent you. I started off the webinar by saying I know that there's a lot of information in the emails that we're sending you, so just take your time with it. After you read everything, if you have questions, you can always ask for clarification. But you should have a good idea of the classes that you're going to pick and take before you even meet with us. After you're officially registered and all of your transfer credits are in or your AP scores are in, that's the best time to meet with us after orientation, after registration, because we'll have all the information that we need and we can create a really good learning plan for you after that.
And especially for those students that have My Learning Plan online, your learning plan will then be a lot more accurate, especially with your transfer credit and with the classes that you've already chosen. So until that's the case, which normally I would say August or when fall semester starts is a good time to come meet with us. It's actually a requirement for some majors. For psychology, it is. You have to meet with your advisor one-on-one. And it's not painful, I promise. I have candy. Just saying. It's a good idea to do it just to check in.
Yeah, definitely. And if you are feeling completely overwhelmed and lost after you've thoroughly read your emails, then please reach out to your advisor because we will help you if you need it.
For sure. Okay. So next question, can someone at orientation help me with figuring out if I've met the prereq at my community college? If I have a copy of my transcript, maybe.
So orientation is honestly a place to ask questions about getting ready to register, but I don't know if there's going to exactly be time to check prereqs. Usually we don't really have time to do that at orientation. So I would email your advisor now ahead of time, and we can try to figure that out for you before you get there. But yeah, orientation is probably not the best time for that.
No, there are some classes that we'll be able to answer because it's a general advising session that we have at orientation. For instance, again, I'm going to go back to psych. I took a lower division research methods, but it's telling me I need a lab. You do not need a lab, but I'll go over those things in orientation. Your advisors will. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
More questions?
Yep. No, more question. Oh, okay. Okay. So another note, so making sure you're including your student ID number and your email communication to advisors is very important. That helps with how quickly we respond to you as well. And okay, next one. I work full-time and want to make sure I get my classes for part-time attendance. Let's see. Oh, so maybe the student is wondering if they want to get my classes. Maybe they want to be part-time. So we can maybe say what part-time units and what full-time is. So
part-time is 6 units and under, which it could be 2 classes or it could just be 1 class because some classes are 4 or 5 units here. And then full-time is anything 12 units and over. So for financial aid purposes, for housing purposes, you need 12 units. But if you don't need that for anything else, and you can just take 1 class or 6 units, be part-time, you're good to go.
That's important. Yeah, I think so. If that doesn't answer a question, you're welcome to clarify in the chat box. But yeah, that's it.
Oh, cool.
No more questions?
That was the last one, unless we get more as I do my wrap up here.
Wrap it up.
So thank you everyone for submitting your questions today. That's awesome. We love to have you interact with us. And thank you to our awesome academic advisors for answering them so well and clear. We're going to have another live stream next week. I think it's on the 14th at 10 a.m.
Yes, it is.
That will be our last live stream with some more academic advisors. So we want you to tune in for that as well. These, like Jessica and Chrissy mentioned earlier, these YouTube live streams will be on our YouTube channel. So if you didn't get to watch them live, then they will be there for you to watch them. And there was a lot of good information about housing, financial aid, directed self-placement, other info about advising, all in those live streams. So those are good ones for you to watch later too. Your shopping carts are open. They opened either earlier this week or last week, and they are ready for you to start adding your classes in there and planning your classes. So we want you to start picking out those classes, asking your questions if you have any, so you can get ready to register on your dates, which Jessica and Chrissy already mentioned.
Because we're rock stars.
As you are.
Yeah, and please watch our YouTube video because we want to be sensations.
As many views as possible, please.
Please, it's a contest.
Okay, we didn't get any more questions, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up for the day. So thank you both, Chrissy and Jessica.
Thank you.
Everyone have a lovely day. We'll see you at orientation, or we'll see you in the fall.
See you when you see you.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.